Okay, so this is kind of the third time I filmed this, and today is the 13th of July. It's Monday, and it's 2026. I'm 21 right now, and I'll be 22 in 3 months. That's it, 20th of September in no time. And the reason I come to make this video is obviously the accountability side of things, but also talking a bit more about what I feel have been some of the reasons why I've been successful and also unsuccessful in certain areas of my life. So the first one is that right now I've been trying to crack sort of the next step in business. I've been able to hit 10, 20k months, not consistently, but I've been able to do so multiple times. So I kind of feel like I should be able to do so consistently, but I haven't been able to do so. That's kind of the challenge where I'm heading right now, right? And that's a challenge I've not been able to crack for the last 2 years, which is a massive time. Since I hit my first sort of, not even 10k month, because I skipped from 10k directly to 20 from like 5. And that was in October 2024. So it'll be about 2 years, in no time, that I've hit that month and then fell off from there basically to lower months and then some bigger months and then this inconsistency side of things, which is really lack of stability and sort of due to the nature of the projects I was taking on, because it was per project more than actual monthly recurring, sort of the market I was doing Spain instead of doing the UK, which is a better market, and then the US in the future. I was also offering services that were just qualitatively worse than the things you can offer when you have clients paying you more money. You can offer better services, have people calling their leads, have people shooting their content, have so many different things affecting all of these things, right? And the main reason I was not able to solve that problem is noise. And I'll compare this to why I was able to solve the problem of not making any money to making money when I was 19, right? So from 18 to 19, I was starting the business, right? I started when I was 18. I was delving into entrepreneurship before that, going to e-commerce websites and trying to do those sort of things. Didn't really work out because I didn't have the skills required to make that work, which was marketing in that case. I did develop learning skills, as in learning skills by myself. That's a really important one. The capacity to go find the information I need, signing websites, writing copy, doing so many things that then allowed me to do more things later on in life. But even then, I didn't have the skills required to make that a successful business, so I stopped doing e-commerce and I went directly into doing SMMA after I found people having success with that right after I finished school. So actually no, before that I already started doing it, yet I didn't really go full into it, right? And once I finished school, I not even before finishing school, I realized I had so much noise in my life, and that the reason I wasn't successful is because I was trying to solve an equation with too many variables. And when you have so many variables in one equation, you either have the solution for all of them, and like you have only a few that you need to solve and like find a solution for, or you basically can't solve that equation, right? The problem with life is that you never have all of that information. So your only solution is to realistically cut variables. Make your equation simpler, and you'll be able to not even discern or calculate, just guess a result and see if it fits and see if it makes it work. And success was an equation, and there were too many variables affecting it for me to even know or even begin the math problem to solve that equation, right? And find how I could break into the next level. And the variables there were so many. Like I had a relationship that was taking part of my time. I was into politics. I was into economics. I was into learning languages. I was into learning history. I got honorary mention for history of Spain and like history just in general, I guess. And I had all of these hobbies I was doing. I had all of these things my time was being consumed by. I was watching films, I was watching shows, I was going out, I had these friends, I had all of these things. And solving the equation of success, once you're also trying to solve for all the other variables there, it's almost impossible, to not say completely impossible, right? And I just had to begin cutting things. For example, the first thing I cut was my relationship. I had a relationship which was in all honesty, not bad. It just wasn't going to take me where I wanted to be because they wanted to do a completely different thing that I wanted to do. Our lifestyles were going to be completely different. We were barely going to see each other, and there were some incompatibility factors there that made it not work at all, right? So I had to cut that, gain more time back. I was learning French, I had to cut that. I did end up learning French more consistently and learning better how to speak it, but in that moment, it wasn't the right moment to be doing that because I wanted to, my equation to solve how to be successful needed to be as simple as it could be. So I removed that. I removed politics. I gave away all of the books I had regarding politics and economics. I gave it away. I was learning many different things about history, reading books about that, gave it away. I was reading fiction to just become more cultured, something I still want to do in the future. I had to stop doing that. I just deleted the books from my iPad. I was doing so many things that I felt like were enriching me, but in reality they were making my life so much harder to just achieve the actual outcomes I wanted to get. And if you have too many things that you're juggling at once, you will not get any of them to any level. Because I wasn't advancing in my relationship, I wasn't advancing in French, I wasn't advancing in politics or economics, or even just becoming more knowledgeable in those senses to have more conversations there. So why do them if you're not going to actually go all the way? Right? That's at least how I'm seeing it right now, that I can't continue to keep growing so many different things at the same time because it just sacrifices all of them, right? So I cut all of those out, and it left me with basically going to the gym, eating, sleeping, and working, just working. And within work, the different variables within it, right? How much I was dedicating to learning, how much I was dedicating to executing, talking to people, running ads, doing these sort of things. Once I was left with basically nothing but work, without counting like the obvious health habits, like meditating a little bit sometimes, journaling sometimes if you felt like you had too much on your mind, kind of like what I'm doing now. It's a form of journaling, I guess. Going to the gym, those kind of things. Until I cut almost everything off, it's not when I start to see any success. I focused myself and I managed to see that to cut through the noise, I then only had work to look at. And within work, I was able to see, okay, the reason I'm not growing is because I'm not running ads. And there were so many other variables in my life that if I hadn't just removed everything else, maybe I would have realised 1 year after, I just need to take the risk and fucking do it. I just need to just stop being scared and just run the ads. And then I ran the ads. I was having no success, but very short period I had no success, like 2-3 months, because I then realised, okay, let me just get people on for free trials, right? I got 10 people there, then people stayed in the service after the free trial, and managed to go from 0 to €3,000 a month in no time, like 30 days from closing them, right? So I cracked the success there to have money, because okay, suddenly now I have some money. I'm not broke, but I'm not successful yet, right? And then I started to keep working. I had no life. I did nothing with anyone. I didn't even see my family. I moved out. I got kicked out of my house twice. Funny story there. But anyway, I got a room for myself, and I had nothing else but work and gym. And the only times I was being successful was when I was not focusing on those two things, on just being healthy and working more, and being healthy has other social aspects and many different things. I wasn't completely isolated, but almost to a certain degree, and I became frustrated because I was being impatient in applying the things. Not in applying the things, I was being impatient and seeing the results of the things I was applying. You have to be impatient to apply things, but not impatient to see the results you get from applying those things, right? Applying what you learn. So by September, the success was not really going where it should, even though just the previous month I got a good result in terms of learning how to sell a PIF. So learning how to sell 6 months up front for a service. And that really unlocked the growth that I required in terms of mentally allowing myself to make more money. And in September, instead of actually going and applying those things, I got demotivated and I started playing video games again. No Man's Sky. Since I deleted the Steam account, I can't even access it anymore. I tried, believe me. Weakness struck me, and I tried to do that. But since I had no Steam account, I could just go play video games. Amazing trick. Burning the boats, right? So after I stopped focusing on that and I started focusing again on the business and just doing that, I remember this consistency so clearly in my mind, where every single day I would work, I would go to the gym, right? Like, second thing I did today in the day, because I started working like I'm doing right now. I'm going back to those roots. I do the work for 3 hours, then I go to the gym, I go shower, I do whatever, which I'm changing a little bit to go to the gym at night, because it's when I'm more off usually, to be able to focus just on that, and I also the more tired and I sleep better. But regardless, I have a small break, I shower, I do whatever, I do more work, then I eat, and when I go eat, I go have a walk. I just think during that walk. I think about everything, right? And in that period, I remember it so consistently because it was such a short trip I was making. I was just making some food, and then there was a cemetery next to my house, and I would just walk through it, and I would visualize that, hey, I'm going to die. Like, life is going to end. I either do the thing or I don't. There's nothing else within it. I either do it or I don't. So I'm just gonna fucking do it, right? Why waste my fucking time? Because that thing I'm gonna do that to waste my time, I'm not gonna remember in 1 week. I'm not. Like, no one cares. I definitely don't. I definitely would have been mad 1 hour after if I didn't do it, which is why I know I didn't care. Like, if you scroll on your phone now, in 2 hours, if you didn't do that, would you be mad at not having had the chance to scroll? No. I mean, not really. If you made money 2 hours ago and you close the client, you delivered the service and it was all done, would you have been mad in 2 hours? Like, would you be mad now that 2 hours ago you didn't do it? You'd be so fucking mad. And same thing applies to healthy things. Like, if you go to the gym, if you go meet with friends, right? When you had the time to do so and it was the correct time to do so, right? You'd be mad you didn't do it. You'd be mad you didn't do the right thing. You wouldn't be mad you didn't do the bad thing, which is how you know it's a bad thing, right? Because it's neutral. And neutral things are the worst, right? So that's one side there. I was extremely consistent. I became, after being demotivated, I again became more consistent, and I hit 20k that month. Not in cash collected. Cash collected was about, actually no, $20,000. Cash collected was a bit less in euros. It was 22,000 euros I made. I didn't cash collect all of them though. So that's basically that. And then from there I kept being consistent, but then again, weakness struck me and I got distracted by defensive plays, right? And defensive plays is also something I've been seeing that I tend to do, and it pushes me down so much. And the defensive play, what it means is you have the chance of risking more and making more money, or you have the chance of protecting yourself more and sort of securing what you have right now. And there's defensive plays that are beneficial long term and defensive plays that are just from scarcity, right? And the one I did in this case was moving to Dubai, right? I was looking at that I was going to make so much money, that I was going to have this pain in the future, that I'll have to pay so much tax. Whereas the correct way to see it is, I'm going to make so much money because I'm going to have all of this money saved up to just invest into ads and team. And yeah, I'm going to pay a lot of tax, but I'm going to make more if I just invest this money now, like reinvest it now, instead of sinking it into moving to another country. Like 15,000 euros sank into moving to another place. Then, if you compare it to that, like investing 15k to move somewhere else, when you have like 20, 30k in the bank, or just investing all of that into ads. How many fucking clients could I have closed with fucking 15k? At least 120,000 worth? Now, I couldn't do that anymore because I invested it into going to Dubai to save money on taxes. But I would save less money by going to Dubai because I now don't have the money to fucking invest into ads to get taxed on anyway when I get money, right? Don't know if you're catching that, basically. I'm sort of freestyling this a little bit, right? So that was a huge defensive play that I did that pushed my success to be so much lower. I could have scaled the next month to be even higher, to say, let's go to 20, 30 again. But no, I had to do 10 because I ran out of money to invest into ads and team and stuff without touching uncomfortable levels of like money basically going down, right? And from there, I made the even worse mistake. I started adding more noise into my life because I felt like since I was having some success, it was time to add more noise and to reward myself about this success. But if you reward yourself about something, you've usually set the limit there. You said, this is kind of where I'm getting at. I'm not going above this, right? So I'll just, if you're, and I'll give you, because you probably think right now, but no, but you should celebrate, you should do all of these things. Apart from the psychological effect of like dopamine and all of these systems in your body that automatically make it harder for you to achieve more goals if you celebrate, then it's also the factor of, if you don't celebrate when you've got the goal of getting to 10k, you don't really celebrate for getting to 5, right? And there's nothing wrong. You don't feel sad about not getting to getting to 5. You don't feel too happy. You just say, okay, I need to keep going on the way to 10. You don't stop on the way to 5. You don't stop when you're 5. But how often do you stop after you get to the specific goal? As in, when you get half the way there to your goal, you never stop. You just keep going, right? That's the usual thing. Whereas if you get to the end of the goal, how many times do you fall off? How many times do you say, I'm going to go to the gym this week consistently all days of the week? You do that and then you fall off. Or then you go super hard one day, you go twice, and then you don't go anymore. Right? That's a goal you're having, and since you made that goal just be the end of it, you didn't keep growing. And that's what I did. I said 20k was the goal. Right? 20k is a huge metric. And I sort of left myself there, capped, not being able to grow again to it more than once. Actually, no, I've done it twice, 20k, right? So the position I'm in now, which is no celebration. If I make money, I make money, right? And I just keep reinvesting into the business to keep growing money, because my goal is not to hit 20k. My goal is to make as much money as I can. Is to keep going as much as I can. Is to build the best body. Is to build the biggest business. Is to scale the fastest. And to keep growing the fastest and the highest, you don't set a goal that you say 20k. You set a goal that you constantly keep moving up without ever reaching it. And that sounds sad, but there's fun of it. Because how many times do you do something, you're like, now I've done it, and now I feel kind of sad. Because you set that goal. So now you're demotivated about reaching it. You're like, yeah, I guess it's fine now. Like, you don't have that fire in you anymore. And that fire in you made you happier than you really realize. Because you work out every single day with a purpose in your mind of something you have to do. Like I'm waking up now. And the way that, circling back on how I was sort of beginning this video, is that was the reason why I managed to have success to begin with. I got the noise, I stuck to what worked, and I was consistent, and it grew, and it worked, right? And I have that many variables. I was just doing healthy things, right? And dedicating most of my time to work. And if you do those things, it's inevitable to be successful. It's literally impossible to not have success. What's impossible, or what's almost impossible, like 10 times, 20 times as hard, is to have success while you have balance. It doesn't work like that. People keep lying to you. They want to sell you this idea that you can have balance, but you really can't. Even to be the best student and to just get a normal job that was high paying, I would have no balance, right? If you want to get a normal job, you can be normally balanced, but you don't want a normal job. You're not watching this video because you want that, unless you're like a journalist or something. I don't know, weirdo. So that there meant that I had to go back to the roots now and say, okay, I have too much noise in my life. I'm going to remove everything I can and just keep the things that make me healthy so I can work better and work. Because in essence, those things make me happy. Like doing the work and getting the results and being in an upward trend of growth makes me happy as a person, right? And this meant I just a moment ago deactivated my personal account on Instagram because I was speaking to women, and since I have some level of success, it's not hard to get them interested in you, right? Even when you're so young, they're not used to seeing that kind of thing. And I don't think I'm the most successful person by any chance. I do think it's uncommon, and I think it makes it easier for me to date people. But that is in itself one of the biggest distractions. Going out there, having to qualify people, having to look at a woman, having to see if they're a good fit or not a good fit for a relationship, having to focus on talking to them, like all of these little tasks that really burn your memory, burn your energy, burn your will to do anything meaningful, removed with that Instagram account. Like, gone. I don't want to talk to any more women. I don't want to do anything there. And I've set my sights on not talking to any more women until I'm 24. So a bit of like almost 3 years, 2028, right? By September 2028. And then what this means is I have no distractions that spiral out of control, because having a woman in your life, especially if it's physically living with you, it's kind of the worst thing you could do as a man trying to grow your business. Because even if you're fully aligned, you're going to go to sleep a bit later. You're going to have relationships, if you know what I mean, during the middle of the day. You're going to have, you like each other, so you're going to talk and get distracted. You can't be fully committed to your craft if you're not a psychopath, just doing the work, just being healthy and doing the work, right? So, no woman. And then in terms of friends, I was thinking of getting some normal friends. Honestly, I was thinking of getting normal people to be friends with, because they would not pressure me. They wouldn't tell me about their success and about how I needed to do this and that to be more successful. I was honestly considering that. Just talking to normal people. Well, that's so fucking insane. That's another offensive play. Instead of going through the discomfort of having friends that are high quality, I will talk to you and say, you need to do this. Like, you're stupid. Like, you're so smart. You do all of these things. You have all of these softwares and all of these stuffs you could sell and you could use to deliver a service, but you don't make that much money. And being told that is extremely uncomfortable, but it's also exactly the thing that will make you get back home the next day and say, let's get to fucking work. Being told, you're doing so well, Xavier. Like, don't worry about that. Honestly, like, if I was in your position, I'd be enjoying my life. I'd be giving back to my family. I'd be doing these things. I'd be traveling. I'd be meeting people. I try to find love. Right. That's the same reason why you're not in my position. Because if I was the kind of person who did those things in this position, I wouldn't be here. Right? Because everyone who's below you, they have a different image of what it means to get above you, and what it means to get on your level, especially. Like, I know, I see people now above me, and I have a different idea of what it means and what I have to do to get there than they did, that they executed to get there, right? And which is more accurate, your idea of how to get there, or the things they did to get there? Obviously the things they did, it's just empirical. It's exactly what they did that got them that result. So you can't just go arguing and say, oh no, my way is better because it's more balanced, or it's more lifestyle, it's more blah blah blah. No, the best way is the way you can do it. The best way is the way it's done, basically. Like, people have done it and it works, and you can do it as well. You can go out of the box, but that's not really a conversation we're having here right now. We're trying to just be successful in the first place, right? So, I don't know if you got that there, but I suppose you did. It seems like the video cut off for a moment. So, other noise I was having, talking to friends who are not entrepreneurs, getting distracted on Instagram, like trying to find more people to meet, learning a language again. I was going to go back into learning Arabic, learning French. I also wanted to learn Chinese. What's the point? What's the point? Honestly, no point. None there. Just do the fucking work. Like, would you prefer, and it's kind of the choice I'm making right now, having a 90% chance of reaching, let's say, 2 million a month by 24, or having a 50% chance but learning a little bit of Arabic and Chinese and being able to hold a basic conversation? Like, which do you think is more impressive? Because if you go 100% the other way, you're going to have to dilute your energy between both. Whereas if you go just all energy on one thing, the chance of you getting that one thing is very likely, right? It's extremely likely. So my energy is just going to be on the 2 million a month, 3 million a month, 5 million a month sort of numbers. I want to get there, and that's my goal. I want to learn anything required to do so. I'm obviously not going to start forgetting all the things I've learned that make me be someone cultured who knows about history, politics, economics, and all of these things, about languages. I'm not going to forget any of that. I'm just going to say, hey, right now the priority is actually reaching the goal and being successful. And if I add this here, I'm going to sacrifice not just the goal that really is going to change the most lives and be the most meaningful. I'm going to be sacrificing all those other things as well. Because if I speak some level of Chinese, but not that good, because I haven't had the time to really go into it for 8 hours one day, because I was just doing 6 hours, 8 hours of work, and then like 4 hours or 3 hours I could dedicate to learning languages or learning something else. I'm not going to get any of them, right? Whereas if I just say all my energy to one thing, I can definitely achieve that, right? Other points there is just anything that earns me social validation. I just don't care. Because I was thinking of going to get photos, going to get restaurants to like take photos and like look like I had some sort of lifestyle. But that goes full circle. That's to get a woman, to get friends, to get validation from people. I don't want that. Because if I get that validation, is that going to push me forwards or down? It's going to push me down. It's not going to push me forwards. Whereas now, if I just have photos that I need for my business profile, whenever I do go, I just take a photo, it'll be good enough. And it's not going to be a meaningful change to go to a restaurant and have extremely high quality pictures taken. It's not. It is going to be a change if I film content for my brand, if I film ads, if I get more clients, if I deliver a better service, if I call the leads that they're getting so I can learn exactly how to sell, so I can then teach it to other people. I can do all of these things and then give such meaningful results that those things will matter, right? So now, the reason for me not being able to find success again, to go to the next level after 20k a month, and even doing so consistently, because that's sort of the next level. It's not even breaking 20k a month, because I know I can do that if I just push myself a lot. But the idea there is to make it consistently, right? Is to reach that level and stay at that level, not go below it because you found a way to get there but not really doing it correctly, right? Like half-assing it. So getting there consistently, and then scaling to 40, not 10, 40, to 40, 60k a month, right? Being able to grow the team correctly, being able to do all of these things without having the service break down. Those are the challenges that I need to solve now to keep growing, and I'm going to solve because I'm going to have no noise. I'm also going to be burning the boats in so many different ways. Like, for example, I'm living alone now in JVC, which is a nice area, to be honest. But while you live alone, you make it extremely easy for someone to come into your life and take part of it. I'm someone who used to define myself as someone who wanted to be in a partnership, in a relationship all the time with a girl, because I just had this intense desire for such a thing, right? And that means that it makes it really easy for me to invite people over, to have them be comfortable with me here, turn into a relationship. They see that I'm living alone, they see all these things. No, I'm going to live in Marina with a friend, I'm going to be saving more money in rent, and I'm going to be in a better location to just have a better lifestyle in terms of health and in terms of doing the things I need to do. Because I'm also going to be with another entrepreneur who's going to be also making money, potentially more than me. So that is going to push me just forwards even more and even more to keep making more money. And that I can't bring anyone to live there with me for any amount of time because I live with someone else, right? So that's going to be an instant burning the boats and getting a relationship of any kind, right? I'm also going to ghost people. Okay, I'll say it like this. Right now I'm weak and I don't have the strength to tell people that I've been talking to, hey, we need to stop talking because I need to focus on my business. Like, I've tried to do that and I probably will at some point. Right now, I haven't been able to. But I do know I just have to stop fucking doing it. Because if they're not the right person for me, what's the point? Right? What's the point? None. So, I'm just going to ghost them. Feels sad, but it's what it is, right? You need to do what you need to do. I feel like in this case, just taking the decision of doing that regardless is the best thing I can do. Just if I spend 1 more minute thinking about it, it's 1 more minute and I have to do the things I need to do, right? And I don't want there to be any of that. I do obviously need to learn now how to navigate living by myself as I did before without any validation, because my dopamine baseline is much higher now. So I need more dopamine to sort of feel good in my life. So now it's the process of taking that down as much as I can so that I'm fine with the current situation of affairs, which is being healthy and doing the work. Because it will take some time for results to show up. Weeks, months, who knows, right? I have to be ready for that. So the idea here is that I'm going to keep posting videos like these ones, because when I do speak these things out, not only do I manage the journal and get things out of my mind, it helps me clarify so much what I actually think and find out a better way to convince myself and to be aware of the things I'm doing that I'm not supposed to be doing, and the things that I'm not doing that I should be doing as well. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. About 31 minutes, so it's quite a long talk. I'm not going to edit it because that's not the point of the video itself. And if you watched until this far, I'm curious as to why. Like, you didn't have to do all of that, but thank you. And I'll see you probably tomorrow. Now, I can't guarantee that, but most likely tomorrow. That will be sort of one of the habits I want to integrate into my routine, which is doing the video and talking to the camera and being more confident hearing my own voice, speaking in English, because I'm going to be doing that completely. Like, I used to sell in Spanish, so I became more confident speaking in Spanish, right, than speaking in English, even though I'm native in both languages, right? So I just have to go back to doing that, and also stop saying so much right. So annoying. Anyway, cheers. See you around. Bye bye.